Again, this is Jorge Bonet with Purmotion, and on our last email, we gave you an example of a upper body core workout where I tried to show you, how we can take a sports-based movement and convert those into a body weight-based movement. The whole idea, sustainability. Okay, so you have all the gain, strength, longevity, vitality, without breaking down, as you get older. So today we're going to do the same, but we're going to focus more on lower body. So here on the whiteboard, you're going to see it's just a typical lower body exercise selection. Okay, it's not all inclusive though. Don't think that this is it of a typical sports-based type of lower body workout. Okay, but I want to show you, that even though these exercises will get you strong, some of them are better than others. There's still some gaps, okay, that will impact sustainability in a negative way if you don't make the necessary changes. All right. So, for instance, I'm going to stand up and show you what I wrote on the right side. Okay. So notice that all these movements, I like to look at, joint stress, like unnecessary or unwanted joint stress. Okay. Back squat, front squat, if it's done with a barbell, okay, it will have joint stress. And I'm sorry, I'm talking about this column here. See, that's why I put yes and yes. All right. This hyperextension of the wrist, the shoulder, either if you agree with not, there is unnecessary joint stress. I'm going to give you an example. The safety squat bar. So who invented that bar? Power lifters themselves. Why? Because they claim that it's easier on your shoulder from doing what? Back squat, front squat. See, I didn't invent this, but they've been paying attention to their body for a long time. Okay, so by just bringing the arms, the hands in front, and bringing the shoulder to a neutral position, they still can do squat and give their shoulders, like they say, a break. Okay, so there is unnecessary joint stress. Now, let's look at the dumbbell single leg Bulgarian squat. There's no joint stress. If you use dumbbells, that you take any unnecessary stress from your shoulders, elbows, or wrist. And now barbell RDL, yes, there is. Why? Because you force pretty much to do an overhand grip, and that creates, like I've been saying again and again, shoulder internal rotation. Have you seen bodybuilders, powerlifters, and some other athletes that they do a mix of those movements? Have you seen them when they stand, relaxed? They stand like this. Okay? This is not cool. The orthopedic think it's very cool because he knows at some point in time he's going to cut in your shoulder and fix it. Unless you work your way to bring your shoulder back where it needs to be without sacrificing lower body strength. And yes, you can do that, all right? If you're willing to listen and learn, okay? So dumbbell lunges, there's no joint stress, okay? You grab the dumbbell. See, that's why you hold the dumbbells on the side, okay? You don't have to make any adjustment, overhand, underhand, just the way the body wants it, right here in the midline, okay? Sandbag split RDL, which is something like this. You hold it back here, and then you do your split RDL. It's better. I don't think that there's too much stress on your joints, so I'm okay with that. All right. Now, hip flexors. Notice that I have a question mark. There's not many hip flexor exercises designed to strengthen this muscle group. What I see is a lot of rollers where people just spend, every day they just roll it just to massage it, to activate it and all that shit. I say, Isn't it the hip flexors a group of muscles? Yeah. So why the hell you don't strengthen it? I mean, if you strengthen your big butt, why not strengthen the little butt? And it can be done. And that's how, that's what we talk about achieving joint strength balance. If you're going to do hip extension, you better load hip flexion too. And I'm going to give you some example later. Okay? Now, noting from a joint strength balance, okay, some exercises will be more knee dominant. Okay? Back squat is highly knee dominant. There's some hip, but it's mostly knee dominant, just like the front squat. Okay? Bulgarian squat is mostly knee dominant, but if you change, the upper body, you can engage, a little bit more hip. Barbell RDL, it's hip dominant. Okay? Dumbbell lunges, mostly knee dominant, and the sandbag split RDL is mostly, hip dominant, of course. Okay? So again, we have done a pretty good job, at least in the conservative training, traditional training, to understand the relationship of hip, knee, dominant. Okay, but there's still some gaps, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's look at load. And load, we also we're starting to do a pretty good job. If the movement is bilateral, unilateral, and here I just dissect what is bilateral and unilateral. Okay, no argument there. We're good. Here is the variable that we are missing, and it's vectors. Vectors or line of resistance. Every single movement here, the vector is 100% gravity based. And you might say, Jorge, but dumbbell lunges. I say, yes, you can do walking lunges, but it's highly gravitational or axial, okay, or vertical loaded. Okay, you're walking. But yes, there's some horizontal, but it's very, very, very little. Okay, and for me, it's not really a factor. It's pretty much vertical. Okay, so that said, how can we take this, let's say this lower body potential workout that is more traditional, and tweak it to make it more, more body weight based, and if we do a body weight base, we can achieve higher level of strength balance, or balance strength, and balance strength give you a higher level of body control. Okay, so here the challenge is twofold. One is to make all these yes, no. Okay, you want to eliminate unnecessary joint stress, that's one. And number two, you want to add additional lines of resistance or vectors. So right now, this is again gravitational based only, and that is very typical, okay, in conventional training. Why? Because all these movements pretty much it's rooted in Olympic lifting and powerlifting, which is 100% vertical. What we need to do here is to add forward traction, triple extension, bilateral, unilateral, it doesn't matter. Okay, but well, it matters. Both will be included. And backward traction. Okay? And we also need some lateral. Okay. Can you do this with sleds? Yes. But what about if you don't have space? What about if you have limited space and you still need to, add those lines of resistance? Well, the workout that we're going to show you is going to show all that. So let's go at it. So now I'm going to show you how we take, some sports-based movement performed for a lower body workout and translate those into more of a body weight-based movement. Remember, what we're trying to do here is to create sustainability. We want to create balanced strength. Okay, and one of the things that we want to do in this converting or turning this movement into this movement is to eliminate unnecessary joint stress by keeping it ground based, but add more lines of resistance and keeping the joint strength balance, like hip flexion, extension, knee flexion and extension, and also bilateral to unilateral loads, all that also stays in balance. So If they, I want my my cameraman to go back a little bit just to explain the essence of this video. So in this workout here, it's common to perform squatting or lunges variation with the heel on the ground. And I don't care if you're going down, up, but you're applying 100% of the force is gravitational. Okay? On the right side, you're going to see a variation where you're still going to do that triple flexion extension, but not only you're going to do it vertically, but you're going to do it with the heel is going to be up, like so, with some creating forward traction. But we also want to create backward traction by keeping the heels down. Okay? And you're going to see a movement that is also going to be lateral. Okay? In order to create balance strength as relate to abduction, adduction. But in this particular movement that I'm going to show you, it's going to be more for the abduction. For example, when you're running, you have to cut direction, that low. Okay? And again, this workout here, this movement, I'm assuming that you have limited space. Okay? But that's not a limitation from not being able to add a more balanced workout. So here we go. Let's start with the first one, lying squat and hack squat. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start this conversion from sports-based movement to body weight based movement as relate to lower extremity. We're going to do the lying squat or angle squat. Okay? I use the wishbone. There's this stand because you have to start at a higher level. Okay? So in this squat, there's still a triple flexion extension, but you're going to notice that I'm going to be on the ball of my feet. Same position, sprinters, when they come out of the block, linemen, when they snap the ball, they move forward. I'm creating those line of resistance. Basically the combination of, gravitational force and friction. Okay? Again, don't be confused that I'm proposing about training the skill of the sport in the gym. No. What we're trying to do is to strengthen the musculature to work in the direction of the skill. And that is specificity. That is complying with the set principle, specific adaptation to impose demand. All right? So here's how we do it. Basically, get under the wishbone, hold the handle, do a side step, and I find my angle. My angle is 90 degrees. Okay? I say this in many videos. So bar to body is 90. And well, you know that because the weight is resting on the ball of your feet. So here, make sure that your footprint is about hip width apart. And you can be either, your feet can be either parallel. I like to have a V shape, okay, on my footprint, just like so. So when I'm squat, my knee track my toes, okay? And notice that there's I'm eliminating any unnecessary stress on my upper body, okay? So my focus goes on lower extremity strength, okay? Not only you can do, the footprint that I'm showing you, but here's a big one. You can do stagger stance, okay? You can do that same triple flexion extension, but now you're applying more force in the back leg than the front leg, okay? And the same the other side. Now let me show you the angle hack squat. Now let's go ahead and do the angle hack squat, okay? This time I'm just going to turn away from the wishbone, okay, like so. Get down, up, and hand on the handles. Notice immediately there's no stress on my arms, okay? Footprint varies, but make sure that your heel's on the ground, okay? Body to bar, 90 degrees, all right? I like to be at first about hip width. Again, slight V shape on my footprint, okay? And then here, the idea is to go all the way down and notice that my back is vertical at the bottom, okay? Notice the full range of motion, no distress here. I'm totally comfortable. Okay, this is the Asian squat, basically. And up, all the way down, all the way up. Now, for strengthening, you may not want to go all the way down, so you can keep tension. Okay? You can change your footprint. You need more sumo. Feet out a little bit, toe out a little bit, even more. Okay? Maybe not as low, but you get a good stretch on your groin. Okay? And again, it's a great way to pair a vertical squat, angle squat, alignment squat, and an angle hack squat. You have three vectors, okay? Three ways to achieve triple flexion extension. That's what I mean to achieve balanced strength. And balanced strength lead to body control. So let's talk about the deadlift. Okay, and you guys already heard me. You know, what's my statement? What's my position when it comes to barbell deadlift? Okay, so let's go straight into the alternative. I'd rather, you know, use a Hicks bar. Okay, I don't have one here. I have the clean and jerk attachment. That one of its application is to be able to do deadlift using a neutral grip. Okay, so I'm just going to stand, okay, where the handles are in the midline of my body. Okay, I just squat here, and I can perform my vertical deadlift. Okay, notice I keep my heels on the ground. Okay. And I can also, that's a hip dominant, I mean a knee dominant, but I can also do a hip dominance, a Romanian deadlift. Okay? So, bilateral, gravitational only movement is not a bad thing. It's just that it's overrated. So we need to balance it out. Alright? Let's go to the next one. Alright, now we're going to do a single leg lateral lunge. Okay? This is a true lateral lunge compared to maybe what you've been exposed in the past. And notice that we really don't have a sports-based or conventional traditional exercise. I mean, this is the true body weight-based movement. Okay? The purpose here is that, let me put this here for a second. The purpose here is to load the lateral side of your legs. That is critical every time, let's say you're running and you change direction. I mean, that is the angle, the line of resistance that I'm trying to load. And we're gonna do it single leg. It is so simple. It only requires a barbell, a renegade, and a war hammer. Okay? Basically what we do is we stand laterally, in this case left hand on the ball. Left foot, my left leg is gonna be the one loaded. Okay? My inside arm is gonna rest, on the inside of the barbell. And I'm gonna use, I like to use here an underhand grip. Okay? And I'm gonna assume this angle right here, okay? It's about 90, this angle here, okay? And then I'm gonna keep my foot flat. My back leg or foot is gonna come up. And then here, I'm gonna flex my front knee, left knee, and up. But I'm creating like this lateral friction. Okay, it's like I wanna push the whole thing to my right, okay? Right here. It looks difficult, but I'm telling you, it feels very, very natural on your ankle, knees, and hip. Okay, it's not even close to a traditional squat, even an angle alignment squat, or a angle hack squat. Okay, again, we're trying to balance, your body by attacking different angles. Angles that matters outside the gym. Okay? And again, if you want to know more about all this movement, you can always visit our website, purmotion.net, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay? Let's move to the next one. So now I'm going to show you two movements. Okay? One is hip dominant, and the other one is knee dominant. Okay? The knee dominant movement is bomber's lunge, and anterior reach. All right, and I'm just using my my AirFit. Okay, all I did is I took it off the spring, okay, and anchored it to the cable machine. And you can use any cable machine. Okay, you can put handles instead of slings. I'm going to use my slings, and I'm going to choose my choker grip. Okay, so bomber's lunge, lift the waist back, right foot forward, left back, and then as opposed to do the traditional lunges, which is a vertical up and down, here you're going to have a forward motion as you come down, and then you're going to come back and up. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit so I get more cable travel. Okay, so again, I'm going to go down and forward, back and up. Down, forward, back and up. Okay. Why it's different from traditional dumbbells is dumbbell lunges because we're adding friction. All right, friction combined with gravity. Okay, and notice that the cable travel here. Notice here, my cable travel, that diagonal line, that is the resultant of what I'm feeling here. The combination of gravity and friction is that diagonal angle. Okay, but it's mostly a knee dominant movement. If I want to do a hip dominant movement, all I do is a hip flexion and extension. Okay, like so. I get in my split stance. Okay, now I'm going to leave my knee slightly angled, and now I'm going to reach. Okay, by flexing my hip and back. See, forward and back. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm leaning a little bit. I'm favoring my upper body is lined up with my right foot. See? I'm not staying square. I'm leaning to the right side because it's a unilateral movement. You cannot treat a unilateral movement like a bilateral movement. Okay? You gotta lean a little bit so you can find your center of mass. Okay? And back. So this is going to be more hip dominant. Again, but I'm trying to balance, joint strength. Okay, knee dominant, hip dominant, working them together. All right. So the last movement, if I'm not mistaken, is a hip flexor movement, which in the traditional setting is not even addressed, as far as I know. Okay. The closest that I see people do, addressing the hip flexors is by stretching it. Okay? Well, as a strength coach, I wonder why. I mean, isn't it your hip flexors a group of muscles that can be, strengthened as your hip extensors? Don't we spend countless hours trying to get, develop strength on your hip flex extensors? Well, why not doing it for your hip flexors? And that's what we do. Okay? We don't spend time doing all this rolling stuff and stretching stuff, activating stuff, corrective stuff, bullshit to all that. We strengthen it. And let me show you just a simple way of doing it. Of many ways that we do it here. So let's go ahead and move on with a single leg hip flexor. Okay? It only takes a padded sling. Okay, we make this, you can check it on our website, and a cable machine. I like to use some kind of a push-up handles. You don't have to, okay? But the key here is how you set up the sling around your foot. So notice that I already, got the sling through my foot here. Now I'm going to make an eye by just pulling to the side, create that eye here, and pass it through my foot all the way to the midfoot. Get the carabiner connected to the cable machine. I turn around, now look my line of resistance. The line of resistance is passing right through my midfoot. That's how you want it, okay? So now here I'm going to lean forward like I'm a sprinter, and it's going to look like I'm in the starting block, okay? Watch. Like so, okay? Now the foot's going to be off the ground. All you're going to do is flex your hip, and by bending your knee also, okay? Like so. You can think that it's coming out of the block, or like if you're a Muay Thai fighter, like you bring in, you're throwing a knee, to your opponent's head, right here. There's a lot of tension also on my left leg, a lot of tension, okay? There's a lot of friction right there on my left foot. And this is a very natural, fluid way to load your hip flexor. Okay? Extremely simple. I mean, I'm amazed how little we do, or how much we do to strengthen your hip extensors, but how little we do to train the hip flexors. is this notion of perception that they're tight. You know why they're tight? Because you don't load it. You just don't strengthen. Back squat, front squat, deadlift, I don't care which movement you do for hip extensors, you are not strengthening your hip flexors. And this is a simple way to start creating that, hip extension, hip flexion strength balance. I hope you like this video. Again, remember, we're going to keep adding content to our website, our YouTube channel, social media. I mean, you can even send email inquiries, and we're going to try to answer all your questions. But again, if you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And again, keep your eyes on our website, that it's going to be changing, significantly over the next several months. Thank you.